Now, if you played the game on regular difficulty, you may well have stopped in this little hut and found the map to Seattle in there. You don't actually need to go here to find it. The game forces you to take the map and the list of gate codes before you can progress. And so it will, if you don't pick it up there, it will appear in several other places, essentially giving you no choice except to take it. So you can just skip it there. We'll pick it up after we hop over the gate. All right, we're here outside the gate in Seattle. Before we jump over, I do want to show a few things. First, there is a hammer here. You can take it if you want, but I don't waste my time with it. It really doesn't make a huge difference. Hammer is not a very strong melee weapon. It's probably the weakest of the melee weapons. And while it's useful if you're a speedrunner, you can use some movement tech to make yourself go faster. It really doesn't do a lot of good otherwise. So I just don't even bother. It's not worth the extra. I spend enough time getting stuff. I don't need to get that. Now, what I'm going to show you in this run through downtown is where to get the maximum amount of loot. And this isn't simply a matter of going every place downtown. You also have to do certain things in a certain order, because there's certain types of loot that only appear after you have done certain things. And there's also a few places where some loot will disappear after a certain point. So we're going to do a loop through downtown.
Hey. Tell me
That is going to make sure that you can get everything possible. Now, if you do it in this order, you can see on screen, this is all the loot that you can get. You don't, in the truth, need all of this, but if you're feeling insecure about how little stuff Grounded gives you, here's what you can get. To make full use of it, you will have to craft either health kits or mollies, because there'll be more rags than you can pick up. Also, I should say that those numbers don't include any extra drops that you might randomly get from dead enemies. You should never count on those being there for a run in terms of your planning. Now, this jump here has ended more than one permadeath run. What I find convenient to make sure I'm lined up properly is just aim the gun about here so that Ellie is set up to go. So that way you make sure she's not accidentally off to one side or another. Another thing to be careful of is try not to adjust your aim with the right joystick with the camera when you're in midair. That seems to strongly increase the chances that Ellie will miss her hold. Now, I mentioned that you didn't need to pick up the Seattle map earlier. If you don't, it appears essentially in the first drawer you open after you get over the gate. And here's the map. And now the next drawer you open will give us the gate code. So you can get it here. You could wait until the next building and pick it up there. If you had already picked up the map outside the gate, the first drawer you open here would have the gate code list.
Oh, that's a generator.
Next, we're going to, instead of plugging this in directly, we're going to throw this over the building here. Pick up the loot that's on the roof. I'm just ignoring the letter and the card there, but obviously pick them up if you want them. We've already picked up the gate code. I often pick it up there, which is why I started to move forward for it.
Yes.
You have to pick up the gate code list before you can enter that code. It doesn't matter that it's always the same code. The game just won't let you let Dina in until you get that piece of paper. Alright, we're out here in downtown. Things are pretty open here, and you can definitely get everything I'm going to show you in more than one way. This route is one that I've just found to be relatively straightforward. It minimizes going back and forth while still picking up everything. I'll describe the things that are you know, depending on other things as we get to them. This alcohol is just here because we need to go. Our first real task is to jump over and go to this fire engine, and that alcohol is just on the way. Now we're going here first for two reasons. The first is inside here. There's a rag and an axe. I'm going to take the rag right now, and the reason why I do that is the rag and something else we'll encounter will despawn after a certain point. I'll talk more about that when I get to the other thing. The axe I'm going to leave here, and the reason I'm going to leave it here is I actually want to take that axe with me as I leave downtown. If I pick it up here, I'm almost certainly going to wind up using it all in the courthouse garage, which I don't particularly want to do.
I think so.
So we're gonna go here. Now, the other reason why we came here early is we jump over here and there's a variety of things.
Got it.
Obviously we got pills, we have parts, and we also have this prep manual. This is not the only place the prep manual will appear, but now that we have it, we can take craft melee upgrades. And taking that upgrade allows us to start getting blades and binding. If you haven't yet taken that upgrade, the blades and bindings will not appear. If you forget to take it before you go into an area and you suddenly remember, oh, there should be blades here, you can just take that upgrade right away and that loot will just immediately pop in. You're not losing it forever by going into an area that doesn't have it. The next thing we're getting are the parts in this federal ration truck. Again, we're only doing this because it's more or less on the way to the next area that we need to go to. When I get out of here, you'll see me do a little melee punch. And the reason for doing that is I'm trying to do something called a map skip. Ellie, as you're probably aware, loves to take notes on her map. And it's a cute little thing on a first playthrough when you don't understand the area, but it's just a time waste when you're just trying to get through downtown as fast as possible. The main reason I'm coming here now are these two rifle rounds. It is important to get them before you go into any buildings, because these rifle rounds and that rag we just picked up from the fire truck will despawn. Now, the rules for it are a little complicated. In fact, rules might be an overstatement, because I'm pretty sure this is actually just a game bug. If you're not playing on Permadeath, and you get here and you don't see these revolver rounds, you can do a restart encounter and they will magically reappear. But on Permadeath, obviously, you can't reset that way. So what you have to pay attention to on Permadeath, if you go into a building, any building that has revolver rounds in it, these two revolver rounds will simply disappear. If you go into other buildings that don't have revolver rounds in them, then it seems to disappear after you go into the second building. Like I said, it's a weird glitch. This Ruston coffee shop has a revolver round, so if you went in here before you picked up those other two, you wouldn't get those other two. The courthouse, however, doesn't have any revolver in it, at least not on grounded, but so you can go into the courthouse and still have that there.
Burnt shit.
When I open this door, we're going to be jump scared by a runner. And the easiest thing to do if you want to kill it directly is simply hit it with a brick, melee kill it. Don't waste any ammo on it. Now, the lock-on aim on that when the runner jumps out here takes quite a while to actually lock on. So I didn't actually wait for it. I just put my reticle on the runner and threw, and it hit her. I'm doing the melee there so that Ellie doesn't waste time writing about the Barco's.
Barco's on it.
Now, if you don't actually want to waste your time or a brick on this runner, there is another way. It's a bit cheesy, but you can get rid of this runner in a different way. This obviously doesn't work if you're doing kill all, but we can actually despawn the runner. If you simply wait for it to come out, instead of fighting it, just run out of the building like this. And once you get out, Dina will follow you, but the runner actually just despawns entirely. So they're just not there. You can go in, you can pick up the Barco's key and the rag, and you're good. Okay, now that we've gotten that safe, we are going to ride past several buildings and head to the bank.
Hey, that building's got
the reason that we're doing the bank next is essentially I want the shotgun before I go into Barco's, because that will control what kind of holster we get. There's two holsters in the game. There's a long gun holster and a short gun holster. And it's better to get the long gun holster first, in my opinion. You don't get the long gun holster unless you have the shotgun already. So we are, here at the bank to get the shotgun.
I think.
Before I drop into the bank, I do want to talk a little bit about alternatives. Particularly if you watch a lot of older completion videos for Permadeath, you'll notice that many people skip the bank. And the reason for that is there's a couple of clickers, three runners, and especially early on when people were trying to figure out how to play grounded safely, the bank was regarded as a fairly dangerous place for which there wasn't a lot of payoff. Yes, you get the shotgun, but if you don't pick it up here, you're going to get it at the TV station anyway. And so the thinking for a lot of people was it's just not worth the danger of doing it. Also, it does add some time to your run, and so if you don't need it, you can definitely skip it. So this is absolutely a skippable area. The biggest thing we get by going into the bank is the shotgun. We get it early, which means you have it available to use in strats, both here downtown and potentially at the school. If you pick up the shotgun here, you will wind up getting 3 more shotgun rounds in total than you would have gotten if you had simply skipped the shotgun here and picked it up at the TV station. Since those early days of Grounded, we have discovered various ways to do the bank pretty safely in stealth. And I'm going to show you a full stealth strat. I do want to say, if you make any mistakes in this strategy and get caught, there's no need to stay in the bank and fight it out with the infected. What you should do in that case is jump back up right here where we're standing, allow the infected to de-aggro, and then come down and just stealth kill them. If you get caught again, run out again. And just do that until you get rid of them. Then you can go safely get the shotgun. All right. So when we're going to drop down on the left side here. If you drop down on the right side, there's a runner in the back behind the counter who can definitely spot you. So we drop down on the left, immediately go prone, and start crawling forward. As usual, these infected don't start moving until you actually drop into the area. So they're always going to be sort of at a known starting place. So I'm waiting for this runner here to turn the corner. And I'm going to go grab her. Back to prone, and we're coming over here to wait for the clicker. I'm going to get the clicker exactly the same way that I was getting them in Jackson, namely crawl up to them fully prone, spamming the triangle. Notice that Dina was hiding in the clicker's paths. Generally, you don't have to worry about that. She will, all of your NPC companions will move out of the way when enemies approach. So don't worry about that. Next, we're going back here for a runner who's right now hidden from us, but will be walking back. Although you can go out and grab the runner to get him faster, usually that brings you too close to that clicker, who will hear you. So we're just playing it safe and waiting for him to come to us. There he is. Okay. Now we have this clicker. We'll wait for him to turn. Now I want to grab this clicker when he's far enough away from this runner so that the runner can't hear the kill. And the reason for doing that is to allow Dina the chance to kill him. The way this works with your companions, if you kill everyone in stealth except the last person, assuming the last person is a regular infected, like a runner or a WLF, Dina will, if she's close enough, stealth kill that last person. So it's a handy way to save yourself some effort there. If you did that too close, what you would find is the runner would wake up, and then Dina won't kill him. The runner will come after you. You'll have to deal with the runner yourself. So I have looted up what's here before going into the vault, because after we pick up the shotgun, we're going to get a clicker and a runner spawning in.
Cut it.
Now, when we pick up this shotgun, it will only give us 1 round. Later on, we can come back and there'll be an extra shotgun round here. We'll do that at the very end of downtown. It's just the most convenient thing. There's also a couple of other things that haven't spawned in yet that will when we come back. Now, you'll notice there's a runner and a clicker that have both spawned in. They spawn in near the exit, so I just like to wait a minute for them to go get a little bit of clearance, and then we can just run out. There's no need to try to kill them. And those two also, after we leave, when we come back, they will also have been despawned. So you won't have to deal with actually killing them even when we come back to the bank later on.
That place was crazy.
Prone diving is a way that we move quickly through the game without being as loud. And it takes advantage of something, an animation that happens when you're running and then hit circle to dive. See how Ellie dives down in front of you, right? That is a prone dive. And what we are going to do is we're going to take advantage of that to do it over and over again in order to make Ellie move really quickly without necessarily alerting people to it. I'm going to show you my controls. And basically what you want to do, it's the ordinary prone diving involves a combination of pushing forward on the left stick, L1, and circle. So what I'm doing is I'm holding L1 and circle, and then I'm releasing them both in quick sequence. I release L1 first, and then circle, and then I just repeat. And so Ellie starts to run forward, and then immediately dives down again. Now, the advantage of this movement is that it is a lot faster than crawling prone, especially you can see how much slower this is, crawling prone. When you do this, you do get a tiny bit of awareness coming from the any enemies who might be in the area, but unless they're looking straight at you, going back prone makes you hiding again. Now, there's a variation on this prone dive, and one disadvantage of this prone dive is if they're looking at you, they will see you, or we usually call it hear you, right? They become aware of you, whether it's because they see you or what. I don't think the actual sound of Ellie slamming in and doing that doesn't actually cause anyone to alert on. But there is a way of doing a prone dive that we call a silent prone dive, which you don't go up as far, and therefore you don't have the opportunity for them to spot you. And the other reason that there is some advantage to that is when you're prone diving like this, if you move the left stick off a little bit left or right, which I just did, I just moved it off, you'll see Ellie kind of tends to go off at 90-degree angles. So if you're not very precise in your stick movement, you can wind up diving off in a direction that you did not intend, right? Which is bad. Now, with silent prone dives, we never let go of L1. Instead, we just hit circle twice. This doesn't take you quite as far as if you are doing the regular prone dive. It's a little bit slower, but not only is it less of an awareness for the enemies, but it's more reliable for keeping you going in the direction you intend. You don't go off at 90. See, I'm moving at the moment I'm moving my right stick over here, but you'll notice I'm not going at 90-degree angles anymore, right? I'm just kind of gradually turning. So that silent prone dive is a lot more of a reliable thing to
I've
do.
never seen one of these in
Right, for
action.
this.
Yikes. These guys had a bad day.
What is it?
Burnt skeletons.
Not how I
Now,
want to go
when
out.
you pick up the shotgun ammo here, I will say, even if you choose to skip the shotgun in the bank, you can still pick up this ammo here. This ammo will still exist. So even if you're going to wait to the TV station to pick up the shotgun, you should pick up this shotgun ammo.
That place was crazy.
We are waiting to go into the
Shotgun out of it.
synagogue
So, not complaining.
for
All right,
one, because
fine,
we
I
need to pick
guess.
up one other thing first. So before we go into the synagogue, my next step is to go into this ruined building, Barco's, and Valiant Music Store, just to get all the loot that's in there. The main reason for doing this all now is they're all right here in this area, and also there's the stun bomb that we'll find in Barco's. Now, if you wanted to do it in a different area, you can also find the stun bomb in that guard tower right there above the Fedra sign. But because we're going to this other stuff first, doesn't really matter. So, yeah.
Is this place sturdy?
I don't know.
The only reason I'm doing the melee there is to avoid the map. Some people like to pick up Neil Druckmann's card here, Dr. Uckman, for good luck. I'm not sure I consider Neil to be good luck here, but
Okay.
it's all
That's
up to
everything
you.
here.
Alright, so we're going into Barco's next, which we can do because we got the key from the coffee shop earlier.
Oh shit. I got it.
Let's see what we got in here. What the hell is this place?
Some kind of WLF something.
And you can see, because we have the shotgun, we now have the long gun holster for this.
Goonie and Ghost would have loved this.
And also, now we have the stun bomb. And once you pick up the stun bomb, you will start to get explosives and canister spawning. So there we have that. And because we took the melee upgrades earlier, we also have those binding. So I wanted to pick up the stun bomb before we go
I think we got everything
into
here.
the synagogue, because I didn't want, or because there is, I believe, canister, maybe
Valiant
explosive in the
Music
synagogue,
Shop.
and if you
Should
go
check
in there
the supplies.
without the stun bomb, those won't
Man.
appear. So again,
Imagine this
we
place
just
when
need to
everything was
go
intact.
into places in the
We could
right
just goof
order
off,
if we
play some
want the
instruments.
maximum
I
possible
bet we
loot.
could scrounge enough
The
stuff to start a
binding here,
band.
again,
We don't know how to play
is something
anything.
that only appears after we have the melee
Definitely figure it
upgrade.
out.
Parts, however, are always here.